can I tell my hockey story? SJ?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Sure. And then a sports update, and then more stories, and then Prairie Hockey Academy.
I got my
It's just going to be great.
22 Fresh Hockey is family.
Yeah.
Shirt from the SJ, and I was thinking about them because I was going through all my old Instagram posts, and I found the one of you and me poolside last spring SJHL finals, and I posted it on my story.
Got a lot of people upset, I understand.
Yeah, well, I'm getting a lot of comments, and some of our P1s are like, were you guys doing your pregame show poolside? No. I got somebody texting me being like, when did you and Rod why did you go with your suits to the Aquatic Center in North Battleford? And why did they let you in? I said, no, this is Melfort. And if you know Melfort, Saskatchewan, there's the arena and the pool all in one complex. And it's right beside the concession. You and I were getting some food, and we can see the pool. I'm like, we should be sitting out there having coffee. It's humid. It's nice. And so they actually opened it up just for us to sit there poolside. And the pictures you and I having coffee in our suits, and it just made me miss being
hockey
in the finals and the hockey. Yeah.
There's the SJHL writing in now. Here's one, maybe for a show down the line within the next week. Best SJHL concession.
Ooh.
Because the food's made with love.
Oh, yeah.
In Humboldt, they make it right in front of you.
Oh, man.
Right in front of you.
The Bronco Burger?
The Bronco Burger. The onion rings. Oh, so good when it hits your lips. Melfort, sheer variety. Just everything you can imagine Melfort's got.
Oh, yeah.
Pizza Pops in North Battleford. Come on.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the sports update?
Yeah.
Former Toronto Blue Jays second baseman Damaso Garcia, a two-time All-Star and a big part of the club's rise to prominence in the 1980s, has died at the age of 63. Garcia, who had a malignant brain tumor removed 13 years ago, died Thursday in his native Dominican Republic, according to ESPN. Garcia's death comes 2 months after another Dominican Blue Jays legend, shortstop Tony Fernandez, died at 57 after several years of battling kidney problems. COVID-19 has forced another Canadian sports league to push back its start date. The Canadian Elite Basketball League had been scheduled to tip off its second season on May 7th, with the expansion Ottawa Blackjacks taking on the Niagara River Lions, but is postponing the start date to at least June. Mike Moriali, the league's commissioner, said the fact that provinces have different rules about public gatherings during the global pandemic makes planning more difficult. 4 of the CEBL's 7 teams are in Ontario, with a team each in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and BC. Raptors guard Norman Powell has been making the most of his downtime, brushing up on his language skills, Darren. Powell took sign language in college and called it a beautiful language and hopes to be able to converse with hearing-impaired fans he meets. While the NBA is on hiatus due to COVID-19, Powell is back home in Las Vegas, where the Raptors sent him a hoop for his driveway, plus balls and some dumbbells. Why do the Raptors have to send him that?
I don't know, but that's cool.
Just go to Medell's, go to Arts.
I used to be able to sign.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
I used to be able to sign in high school. A summer job as I would work with somebody who signed, right, and he taught me a lot of this of the alphabet. But unfortunately, when you don't use it, you lose it.
You don't use it, you lose it. It's the sports update for Richie Roy and Big Time Game Shows. Make sure to play their Sports Edition trivia show live on Facebook at Big Time Game Shows. Look it up when we're done the show here today at Big Time Game Shows, Saturday, April 18th at 1 p.m. Thank you, Richie. And for Wendell Clark's Classic Bar and Grill, who are thanking everybody that took advantage of their free delivery service and curbside pickup yesterday on National Takeout Day yesterday. You can do it again today. Check out their menu on their Facebook page at Wendell Clark's Classic Bar and Grill in Saskatoon, corner of Idlewild and Circle Drive. See you at Wendell's. And I should mention, I got to say it again, for the Tap and our boys over there, they're firing up Vern's Pizza. Pick up every night now, 4 to 9. So they're rolling.
Oh, yeah.
I said we had stories. And Justin Simpkins, is he ready? No. Okay, Justin Simpkins is going to be joining us from Prairie Hockey Academy. But I got to tell you, folks, you were saying you said this show's never been better. What did you mean by that?
I mean,
never better than today or this era right now?
Just right now, the last little bit. Today has been great too, but just, yeah, it's never been better than, I mean, we all wondered what would happen with no sports and things like that. I'm like, this show is better than it was with sports.
Well, it's a talk show.
That's what it is.
So Wade Redden was with us last hour. And Redsy, I'm surprised he remembered the junior as well as he did because he spent 1,023 games in the National Hockey League. But as you said, his face just brightened talking about junior hockey.
Because he didn't play it for money.
No, and he was only there for 3 years. When you're a teen, it's a blur, really.
Yeah.
But he had said the PA Brandon series, of which I was the voice of the Raiders at the time, Shane Knighty was on the Raiders. It was a great group, was on Game 6 on TSN. And as Redden said in hour one, this series was so great. Like, it was a war, like most playoff series.
Yep.
TSN's like, we're gonna pick up Game 7 too. So we went back to Brandon for Game 7. TSN's carrying it nationally. 2 years later, you might remember the Pats and Hurricanes went to 4 overtimes in the playoffs. It went till 1:30 in the morning on TSN. The Regina Pats and the Lethbridge Hurricanes. So, point being, anonymous texter writes in and says, TSN used to broadcast WHL games? Why are they showing lawn bowling tournaments in the spring when they could have great junior hockey on? Who signed that last CHL contract with Sportsnet? Yeesh. Actually, it's not anonymous texter as I look. It's Ian from Sass Snow Beef, one of our sponsors. I don't know what to say about that. I do think a lot about that one national broadcaster who said to me a couple of weeks ago, the accounting department's running the networks now. I'm sure if it was up to the actual broadcasters, they would be showing major junior hockey games.
Yeah, and I'm sure they would be. But it's, again, this is the boring TV negotiation stuff. TSN had the NHL rights for years, so there's no room to play CHL, so Sportsnet gets the CHL deal, and then all of a sudden they get the NHL rights, but that CHL contract continues to spread out, and all of a sudden you see less and less CHL games on the network because there's no room, too much NHL. So who knows where the NHL deal goes, but potentially that CHL might go back to TSN. I know some U Sports, the conversation's been there, Vanier Cup, things like that. It was on CBC. The landscape will change for sure.
Yeah, and I could sit here and talk about this forever, just like our viewers, because they're all the same. You're just like us. We're all watching the same sports, and it's the biggest reason why. John was asked in Edmonton's asking, how do I get ESPN? I said, it's magic. But I don't want to sit and watch European damn soccer highlights on my Canadian sports networks. I'm sorry. Charity starts at home, as far as I'm concerned. And when I watch ESPN live in the morning, they're going to every major league town. They're going to every NFL town. They're broadcasting live from right outside the local NFL team's locker room that morning live.
Yep.
Where we've always had the joke, Toronto Sports Network, like I can only take so much Raptors, I'm sorry, and so much Blue Jays. Hello, Western Canada, there's stuff going on out here that they completely ignore, and I'm just tired of it. And I've got another option here in ESPN that I'm going to watch. So I'll say it again. Charity starts at home. And I think you said, when I said, why are they putting stories on of NCAA women's basketball? Not that I have anything against NCAA women's basketball, but we've got 5 NLL teams in this country. We've got how many American Hockey League? The other night, I don't know what I was watching. Well, before the pandemic hit, but it was Syracuse Laval in the American Hockey League, and it was just sensational. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. And I'm like, why do I have to root so far to find this?
Right.
This should be right in front of my eyes on one of the 5 TSN networks.
Yeah.
What happened?
I know. When it gets so big, you can't take chances. You can't try. It's harder to grow properties. And back in the day, they made a big investment into the World Juniors. And now that's a property of TSN. That's an event. And so we tune in every year, but they built that up over time. If it was today, it's hard to take a chance on an event to try and grow it, because it's all about shareholders and dollars, but it's also about you got bigger budgets. It's more expensive to go and do these programs. So you better know that you're making money. At least NCAA has a big marquee and has some credibility in the value that we know what it is right away. CHL hockey, but more than that, U Sports, especially U Sports hockey, which is a great product, or the American Hockey League, we don't know how the fans would tune into it. We think, and we're pretty confident that if we put some resources into it, we could grow a nice audience and it could become fabric of our culture and our TV viewing. But we don't know that it would be a slam right away.
Pretty sure it would have more viewers than European Premier League soccer. Pretty sure I'm going to go out on a limb and say that.
Right, but the networks might see that and be like, oh, soccer, most popular sport in the world. We're going to get this many people. It's better. Just simply because it's safer, right? Safer. It's harder to take risk the bigger you get. So that's why, being small like, that we are right now and new, it's so easy to be able to take risks and grow something. And that's where the beautiful things happen. It's harder the bigger you get.
I guess, but it just doesn't hurt to flip on the cameras and talk hockey with Wade Redden. What the hell's so hard about that?
I know. It's awesome.
Nelson Hakowicz writes, oh, and by the way, news flash, junior hockey season's longer than 2 weeks long. You talk about the World Juniors. There's more to it than that. I'm not saying it to you. I'm saying it to them. Mm-hmm. Nelson Hakowicz writes in, he says, ESPN will show cornhole for Christ's sake. They have the power to take those risks on anything they want. What, do they have a monopoly, I guess? And TSN showing that too. John Ohm writes in and says, Karate Kid, the original, was on TSN last night. I guess we all have our own likes and dislikes. Like I got ensnared in Major League last night. It was on AMC. Again, disappointed that they cut the swearing out.
Ugh.
Because quite frankly, that's the charm of the movie.
Oh, Major League, yeah.
But it was funny because Mrs. P came into the bedroom where I had it on, and she's like, okay, let's start with a Netflix. I'm like, well, Willie Mays Hayes is on here.
How do I turn it off now?
I can't. Pedersen. Hots for bots. Hots keep bots warm. It was so I recorded. I just hit record.
That's so good.
And then we went to Netflix. Don Mitchell, watching in Ottawa, says, I'm sure that Canadians would take a chance on U Sports if it was regularly on instead of haphazardly. I did watch the Vanier Cup last year out of Quebec City, and that was awesome. Mark Lee and Justin Dunk.
Yep.
Montreal Carabins and Calgary Dinos. That was awesome. But hey, kudos to the CBC because they are to broadcast CEBL games 1 game a week live.
That's going to be awesome.
Once we emerge from the apocalypse.
Yeah.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.